Hi, I'm Lawrence, and in front of the camera isn't a natural place for me to be. I'd rather be tucked away in my workshop mucking around. We've built a catamaran. She's launched. We launched her 12 years ago, and she's on the water. It started off as one person's dream, and then there became two of us, and Emma joined me and she helped me build the boat, and then we had a daughter, and so now there's three of us. Okay, this is the cockpit where everything happens. It's got all the halyards led to this console where we can hoist them. It's a 2-to-1 main halyard, and it's an electric windlass, which has made life a lot easier for me because as I've got older it's become a bit harder getting the mainsail up. It's a long way to hoist, and we've got this access window where we look up and we can see our sails. We've got twin steering positions, and basically you can find a nice comfortable place where you want to be steering the boat from. We've got all our sheets and everything are led back to the steering position, and that means that if you're on the helm and you get into a bit of difficulty, it's pretty easy to dump the sheet and get out of trouble. For auxiliary power, we've got two 9.9 Yamaha outboards, and they go simply straight up and down these tracks here. They're pretty effective. We've done some modifications on the propellers so that they give us better thrust when the boat's pitching up and down. This is the 17-meter wing mast. It's a rotating wing mast, so it's on a ball bearing at the bottom and it rotates around, gives you better airflow over the mainsail, and it was also an easy construction for us to build ourselves in the shed. So we built it next to where the boat was being built. And then we've built the boom as well, and we've built the sails, and they all combine together and are held up by the Dyneema rigging. I'm a big fan of Dyneema. It's a great material and we use it extensively on our boat. The jib is a filly batten jib. It's filly batten because it stops it flogging. On this particular jib, it's got a batten from the luff to the clew, and that stops the clew flapping around. Makes the sail much more durable and makes it last longer, and also it makes it much more stable when it's flying. It doesn't have any of the advantages of a roller furler where you can just furl it away from the cockpit. It does mean that you have to go forward and pull it up and down. We've got a big anchor because we do a lot of anchoring, and it's pretty important to have an anchor that you can hang on to. In fact, there's a funny story about this anchor. It's a Manson Boss, and there are not many of them around, and I ordered it when none of them were in the country. They come from New Zealand, and I couldn't have a rollover bar on my anchor, so I got this anchor, and it turned up and the guy opened the back of the van and I was like, whoa, that is an enormous anchor. And it really is. It's got a lot of fluke area, and to be honest, it's been a bit of a godsend. Okay, so this is the nav station. This is where, you know, you've got good vision around the boat, and we've got a fairly basic navigation system. If you're expecting some super sophisticated thing, you're going to be disappointed. We've got a simple standard horizon plotter, which we started off with and sailed for quite a few years, and perfectly happy and perfectly adequate. Then got OpenCPN on a computer. We've got a Raymarine autopilot, and we've got a Raymarine wireless instrument. And we've also got a Vespa for AIS, which nowadays I think is pretty essential. So we've got a fairly roomy boat. It feels pretty spacious. I'm always quite pleased with the way it's turned out. But basically it's divided into two watertight areas. So you've got the accommodation area, which is one watertight area, and then we've got a watertight bulkhead, which is also the main bulkhead which holds the mast up. Nowadays most people cut holes in them so that you can walk to the forward area. Ours you can't. They're completely separate areas, only accessible through round hatches in the front of the boat. In this area, the accommodation area, we've got three cabins, a galley down as opposed to a galley up, but as you'll see it's quite accessible from inside the cabin, so you can engage with the person who's in the galley. We had two toilets, but one is gradually fading out and becoming a cupboard with a lot of stuff put in, like harnesses and life jackets and all that stuff. Because as you start using a boat, you start evolving in things that you thought were a great idea when you were designing and building the boat turn out not to be quite as good as you thought they were going to be. The forward area is accessed through 2 round hatches in the foredecks, and on the starboard side there's my workshop where I can tinker and do all sorts of stuff, and it's got all my tools in there, and eventually it's going to have a water maker in there as well. On the port side we've got effectively a wet room and toy storage. We carry so much rubbish around with us. We've got surfboards, wing foil boards, we've got wing sails, we've got all the stuff, inflatable canoe, inflatable sup, inflatable fenders. It's all in that area, and it always tends to be pretty damp and everything, so effectively it worked out pretty well to make that the shower as well. The only disadvantage with it is if you want a shower, you've got to run along the foredeck and jump in through the forehatch to have one. Okay, so that's Wild Honey. She's a fairly basic boat by today's standards. Most boats are very complicated in comparison, so she's a simple boat that sails well, and we've really enjoyed having her and sailing on her. We're going to upgrade her a bit, and we're going to do a few mods, so if you want to follow the journey, like and subscribe, because we're going to be posting a lot more videos.